things I wanted to do a lot more of when I kind of revamped the channel and started changing the approach to content for the 10,000th time was a little bit more in terms of deck profiles. But I didn't want to just throw things out there. I kind of wanted to be able to play around with them first. And so I've been working on a lot of videos that I plan to release sort of relatively soon, but I want to play test with the decks a lot to get a real sense of how they function before I'm just throwing it out there, because I think it's kind of important to know that the deck actually functions versus what it seems like on paper. So this is the first one I started working on a couple weeks back. I've played relatively close to 100 games on like Dev Pro with it, not like ranked or anything, but just play testing against different people, casuals, whatever, just to get a sense of like how the deck performs against meta and everything else. I like it. I'm definitely really happy overall with the way we have it set up. I think there are some things that can be tweaked. I think some people are going to have different approaches to the build that maybe focus exclusively on the XC summoning and don't play any of the links. I know I have a decent amount of links in here, but I do sort of want to talk about the reasoning behind them and why I think they're good. With that being said, let's jump right into the deck profile. Before we do start the video, substantially, I just want to ask you guys, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead, click that sub button. It really does help. We are announcing the details on the giveaway later this week for November. The goal is to get to 3150 by the start of December, so I'm trying to not set too high of a goal. But if you're not subbed already and you are watching, please go ahead, click that button. Click the little Ghost Trick Spectre in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll automatically sub you to the channel as well. Now, for the monsters, the 40-card deck, as of right now, not playing any of the stuff that's been revealed or leaked within the past week or so. Specifically referencing that Time Thief Double Barrel card, which I do really like, and it combos just insanely well with Brigandine to give you a way to like set up an end board. But this was built and playtested before anything of that was announced, so in future builds, tweaks, updates, whatever, you may see it in there. Right now it's not. So we're gonna go through the monster lineup first. I've sorted it out so it's kind of easy to follow. For the 3 ofs, we got 3 Ancient Cloak. This is just a standard, really good Phantom Knights card. It searches any of your Phantom Knights monsters or Shade Brigandine, which is considered the Phantom Knights card, so a neat interaction some people don't know exists. Triple Silent Boots. This is another one that is just an extender, as well as a way to search into your rank up magic or any of your other Phantom Knight spell traps that you might want to grab. 3 and 3 is pretty much set in stone. Tear Scale, this is new. This is from Phantom Rage. This is an insane enabler for the deck, and I do think it might be the best card that they have access to now. Basically, you discard a card, send a Phantom Knights card from your deck to the graveyard, except himself, and then if he's in the graveyard and you banish a different Phantom Knights card, he can special summon himself. Both of these effects are insane, and being able to revive himself off of any of your traps banishing, any of your monsters banishing, allows you to sort of further combo your plays and even play through disruptions in some cases, as long as you open like one combo piece. So he is a really, really good card. Those are the only 3 ofs. Now, Stained Greaves is new. Stained Greaves released in Phantom Rage as well. He's a common, so he's a lot easier to get. Shouldn't be any issues there if you're looking to play this IRL, I guess for remote duels or whatever may come along. If a Phantom Knights monster is special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand and increase its level by 1. So obviously, Silent Boots can special itself, Tear Scale can special itself, but it also works with like the trap, which is kind of neat because like if you open this, you special, play the trap, you summon it, you can make a lot of different things. So it's really neat interaction, and then you banish it from grave, you special a Phantom Knights monster from your hand, and you can increase its level by 1. So it has the 2 separate effects. They're each hard once per turns, but he's really, really good, and sometimes later in the game, having an extra copy that didn't get banished, or maybe you didn't get to bring back, is just more useful than it seems. And then for the last 2 of Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves, this is, gives a monster 1,000 attack if you make it, but also banish it from the grave, mill a Phantom Knights card from the deck, so he triggers Tear Scale. He can mill, another one of your either Silent Boots if you need to get access to a spell, Ancient Cloak if you need to get access to a monster, and just sort of start that laddering process of generating advantage. So he works really, really well at 2. For 1-ofs, I don't have any Phantom Knight 1-ofs unless you count Raider's Wing, which, by the way, is a really, really good card. And I'm working on a video for more investment talk, and this is definitely one of the cards I would focus on. It's like $1 right now. It's an ultra rare out of Phantom Rage. It's not just a card that Phantom Knights and Raidraptor can use. It's just a generically decent card with Dark Xyz in general, and I think this card does so much. Obviously, if you're overlaying with it, the banishing from, when it leaves the field doesn't matter. So you don't need a ton of copies because you can bring it back from the grave and, not have to worry about dedicating space to a card that may brick at 2. The other one of Singing Lanius, if you control a face-up Xyz, you special from your hand. This is an extender. It's searchable by some of your extra deck monsters, and just overall a way to make sure that your plays don't die out if your opponent has a negate. Raidraptor Strangulanius, another one of, if you control a dark monster, special it from your hand. You're locked into darks for the rest of the turn, so most of the time you're not going to be going into anything other than dark. If you are, or if your plays are set up in a way that you maybe want to make something else, then you can just do this last and set up your combos that way. And I have the one Terratop and the one Ketemborg. I really like this package. I mean, it does suck if you draw Ketemborg and, like, not Terratop, but it's not detrimental. And the upside that you get from opening this and just getting a free play to either get a Break Sword out or get, you know, access to Leviair to, like, ladder back combos, or even just for a Link making Cherubini, it's absolutely worth the potential of the bricks. And then I play the one Armageddon Knight, just a really good miller. It, you know, normal summon it, you can send Ragged Gloves, you can banish, you can start your whole thing. Obviously, it's a little bit better if you have any type of additional combo piece, but I mean, there's a reason this card's limited. And then one Hippo, so he's obviously played for Super Hippo Carnival. There's not really any reason other than that to play him, but he's a level 3, and Hippo Carnival does a ton for you. For the spells, I got 3 Allure. This is just really good in here. Obviously, you can't, like, play Extravagance. Your extra deck is really important. You can play, like, Pot of Disparity, but if you do play Disparity, it does make your ability to utilize Allure not as good, and I think banishing some of your monsters to be able to bring them back with Leviair or set up other combos is better. If you feel differently, let me know. I'm interested what other spells and traps people are playing as far as draw power goes. With the one Harpy's Feather Duster, you really are doing a lot of damage. This deck can OTK, so being able to clear the board, this isn't a bad main deck option. You've got Reinforcement of the Army. A lot of your monsters are warriors, so you can search whatever you need. Obviously, Armageddon Knight's a really good target. Foolish Burial is basically just a free play in this deck. Monster Reborn, you could honestly play without it. I like it. I like being able to revive stuff, especially like later in the game for rank up magic shenanigans. If you don't want to play it, there's definitely other things you can devote the space to. 3, Super Hippo Carnival. This basically just special summon a Hippo from your hand, deck, or grave. They can't be tributed. Obviously, you're never really going to summon the tokens, although I did have somebody like play I remember what he played on me, but he played summon that was like going to shut me down for the rest of the turn anyway, so I did summon the tokens, and it ended up protecting me from like losing. But realistically speaking, most of the time you're not going to do that. Not to mention it just automatically makes a Nibiru live at that point, so there's no real sense in it. Just a really good card though, and this is not even a once per turn or anything, so you can, you know, special the Hippo and then use this again. It's really good. Call by the Grave, just at 1, but you're still playing a combo deck that wants to be able to spam, go off, etc. 2, Rank Up Magic Phantom Knights Forced. I'm a huge fan of this card. It's basically better, in my opinion, than the other Phantom Knights spell that they have. This is banish 1 or more dark monsters from your graveyard, target 1 dark Xyz, special summon 1 Phantom Knights, Raidraptor, or Xyz Dragon monster whose rank equals the total number of, you know, monsters that you banished, plus the monster that you're upgrading. So basically, if you have a 4, you banish 3, you rank it up into a 7, and so forth. It does lock you into Xyz for the remainder of the turn after you activate it. But it's a quick play, so there's ways to make that work without it being too bad. And then just kind of standard, the 1 Wing, the 1 Sword, the 3 Fogblade. This is a Fiendish Chain on steroids. It also revives your monsters, can protect you from losing. The 1 Shade Brigandine. It's just that, like, later in the game, this isn't nearly as useful. It is a really good card, though, and some people may opt to play multiples just because of synergies with, like, Time Thief Redoer, or depending on how your build is set up. And then the 1 Phantom Knight's Claw. This is basically when a monster effect is activated, detach a material from a dark Xyz monster, negate that activation if you do destroy that card. The second effect, you know, making a Raidraptor you control gain attack does come into play every once in a while, but realistically speaking, it's just a free negate for a monster effect at the cost of just detaching something. So it's really good, and it's searchable. That's the 40-card build. I've played a lot of different things. Anything you're going to mention in the comments, I've probably played in this deck in some capacity. I just didn't find it to my liking. Doesn't mean it won't be to yours. But I'm just saying I've definitely been trying to playtest this as well as I can. This side deck is very much incomplete, so I'm not even going to touch it in this video here. Obviously, you know, the deck can utilize Super Poly. This was more so theory crafting when I had all this down here. We'll go through the extra deck. I've got some links. Now, Raidraptor Wistrix is one that I really like because when you can resolve the combo, it does a ton. But it is also kind of not something you're going to go into all that often. You only play the 3-wing beasts, but it's not hard to get access to any of them. Getting the 2 and then specialing a 3rd, you can do some silly combos with this. I would say more often than not, this is what I go into the least. Almirage, really good actually. Like if you do brick, you can normal summon Ancient Cloak, go into Almirage, banish Ancient Cloak, get something from grave, and sort of still have a chance to play. You can get Shade Brigandine, you can link into... So there's some things you can do there. And most of your monsters are Almirage targets anyway, so you can summon them and get their effects off at the very least. We've got Cherubini, insanely good. 2 level 3s, mill something, start your combos, get a dark on the field that you just need one more monster in order to be able to make Bardiche. It's really good. Masquerena, again, it's dark, it doesn't counteract with anything, and sometimes just to either clear up space, or if you want to make a Bardiche that can't be destroyed by card effects, you can play around with that. Brute Enforcer, this is an OCG card, so I tried to avoid too many, but this is just a really good card in general. 2 effect monsters, you discard a card, target a face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. Your opponent can discard 1 card with the same card type as that card to negate this effect, otherwise destroy it. So regardless, you're either making your opponent discard a card or you're outing something. And he's just a generic Link 2 Dark that, you can pop something with and then go into Bardiche afterwards. So he's really cool. And I don't know when he's supposed to come out in the TCG, but I'm looking forward to it. Bardiche, I'm not even going to go into it. This card is broken. I mean, I'm happy to have it, but it's broken. Boral Sword, again, it's not super potent in terms of, the strategy, but it's still a really good card. It's a dark, so it's going to, further what you're looking to do. For the rank 3s, Leviair is just still too good not to play, even though it's not a dark. It does everything in your graveyard banishes itself, so later in the game, Leviair just becomes extremely useful. 2 Phantom Knights of Breaksword. These, this is the best card in the deck, I think, in the extra deck. It doesn't even have any restrictions. You can do this effect 1,000 times if you want to. Pop stuff, revive, whatever. That dark restriction means nothing. This card is just, I can't even say enough good things about it. Raiders Knight. This is your standard play, right? You go Raiders Knight with any 2 level 4s, and then you go into Arc Rebellion. This card is nuts. It outs Dragoon. It can't be destroyed by card effects. You can negate stuff. You can swing for game with this. It's not the best first turn play if you have to go first, but it's still not, awful either. And then I am playing the Raidraptor package, so Arsenal Falcon is level 7. Basically, you can either rank up Arc Rebellion into this, or you can rank up Raiders Knight into this a little bit later in the game. Detach a material from Raiders Knight, put this up, and then rank it up with this. Arsenal Falcon, detach a material to special summon a level 4 Winged Beast from the deck. It's neat. It doesn't happen a ton, but it does happen sometimes. What really makes him neat is that if he's sent to the grave while he has a Raidraptor monster as material, which your Raiders Knight is considered, you can special summon Ultimate Falcon from the extra deck. Obviously, you guys know Ultimate Falcon. It's been used in combos with Waking the Dragon and other things. This card is nuts. It's unaffected by card effects. It can shut off your opponent's cards completely because this does attach itself to it as material. And then, of course, we've got the 1 Zeus, Divine Arsenal Zeus. He's good. You're playing an Xyz heavy, at least, half your extra deck is Xyz, so being able to go into Zeus does help. Not to mention, later in the game, if you're reviving one of your Phantom Knights with a trap, you can make a Zeus and put some pressure on the opponent in that capacity. So this is the overall build. I've been having a blast with it. I really hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think, what other things you want to see, what other deck profiles, and even your own thoughts, strategies on your approach to Phantom Knights. Drop the comments down below. I do try to read them and interact. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time right here at Love Chat.